There you go, that last point, a big one once again. The Dr. Conrad Murray, was he really a physician or was he just an employee and would basically Michael Jackson's yes man? So much to talk about. Let's bring in Meg Strickler, criminal defense attorney. Meg, before we delve into some of these points, what is going on right now, both sides? Is it a packing in every note? Is it a fast and furious time? Do you try and relax the day before closings and in such a huge case like this? What do you think?
Well, it's a good question, and every attorney's different. But what I tend to do if I have any break, and usually the judge will give us at least an afternoon off or something like that, and here we have a full day, I make sure I just take a few hours to just kind of do nothing. You know, watch some trashy TV, do something, or go take a walk through the park, empty my head so that I can then focus really well on my closing. And then I'll spend a few hours. At this point, we know the case. We know it inside out. So it's not like you really have to crash everything in all in one big, you know, oh my gosh, what do I say in my closing? Well, you've been drafting it in your head as you started the trial, during the trial, and so you already know what you're going to say. So the key part is simply emptying your head now, relaxing a little bit, and then tomorrow morning you're fresh. You've got a great night's sleep. You haven't stayed up all night, you know, studying to have everything saying perfectly. That way you sound really good, because this is the thing that we defense lawyers especially get off on. This is my most important part of the trial.
Yep.
I have to really be very, very, very strong here so that I, as a defense lawyer, can get to that jury and reach them one last time. We're different than the prosecution. We have less time in front of them. So I really got to connect with them.
Okay.
So.
And again, to clarify, the prosecution will begin. The defense will have their closing argument. Then the prosecution gets to finish the deal. Big advantage there, in any case, to get the last word in. Who's the pressure more on? Who has to do something now in closing that could change the outcome?
Well, you never know what juries are thinking. We know that with every single trial that we've ever seen. So the pressure's on both of them. No one's going to relax until this trial is over, meaning the trial lawyers here. They're not going to relax until this trial is over and it's sent over for them for deliberations. That's when you finally go, okay, I've done my job. So both of them are still amped up at top level to be able to try to reach to the jury and get them their information one last time. The prosecution, as you just said, has the advantage. They have the last word. That stays in their head. But the jury's taking this job very seriously. All jurors do. And so they're going to listen to both sides. And maybe there's somebody who's not made a decision yet. We don't know yet.
Real quick, and then we'll talk obviously throughout the afternoon, getting everybody ready. Again, countdown to closing here on both sides. Do you think the prosecutors are ahead in the game, if you want to use a sports analogy, and it's the defense that's got to hit some late score to try and win this for Conrad Murray?
Well, once again, you never know with juries. I mean, we know that with Casey Anthony, just to bring her up. You never know what's going to be the verdict.
Point taken.
But in my opinion, I think that the defense is starting from 10 steps behind from the get-go with respect to this case. It's such a strong case for the prosecution. And again, in my opinion, the prosecutor has been, both of them have been phenomenal, amazing trial lawyers, and have been able to get their points out much more succinctly. So I think if you're a juror in this case, you're gonna rule guilty. You're gonna be guilty here.
All right. There's your prediction. At this point, we're going to continue to follow again. Closing arguments, hours away, the last chance for the defense and prosecutors to talk to the jury in the Michael Jackson death trial. We're going to continue to cover it. Susan, to you.
All right, Mike, it's been almost